another problem. Debbie's products are just so ingenious. She's just like you know, she was a working mom, she saw problems in her life and she solved them. These are the Genius Sponges. No longer do you need to have something funky, something dirty, something yucky and smelly in your home. This is one that does not hold on to any bacteria. This is one that has a better design, scrubby design on the back, and even a more ergonomic handle when you use it in your kitchen. This has got Debbie Meyer all over it. Today, customer pick on sale. Today, never buy an Ookie sponge at the grocery store again. Today, get the best price that we offer, 2 flexible payments, free shipping and handling. Today, for $19, you replaced this.
You replaced that. Instead of, and I'm going to tell you why, because you are buying 12 of my sponges. Every one of my sponges is the equivalent of 15 ordinary cellulose sponges. So you are not buying 180 sponges. So number one, that saves you money. Let's talk about the important thing. There's a piece of tape that I want to show you that explains the science, because remember, I am the science girl here. When you look at my sponges, here's the difference. Right now, it's coming up for you to look at. There it's coming, there it is. Now that sponge is probably what you have next to your sink right now. And that is what is growing in and on that sponge. It's not just there, it is replicating, it's multiplying, it's becoming more and more smelly as we speak. Simply replace it with one of my Genius sponges. And watch this, you see the poof, poof, poof. That is actually showing you, now this was prepared by the independent laboratory that tested my sponge to show that my sponge will not allow the growth of molds and bacteria in or on this sponge for the life of the sponge. And what does that mean to you? No more smelly sponge. No, you walk past that sink and you go, what stinks? It isn't your sink, it is your sponge
right,
that
you put
smells.
it in the microwave, you put it in the dishwasher, and it's really not getting any better. You'll never worry about any of that again, and they're super absorbent and super scrubby.
You never have to clean the cleaning product. That was one of my goals. And in terms of absorbency, my sponges will hold at least 40% more than an ordinary sponge. Now all I'm going to do is put it down on the liquid, and you can watch the liquid. Look, I'm not doing a thing, and it just ate the liquid right up. That's it. You can see it's capillary action. It's the construction of the sponge. You cannot also not wear out or wash out its effectiveness either. All you do is use it. You use it in your kitchen, in your bathroom, wherever you would use an ordinary sponge. Listen, the bathroom to me is a place where there's the most water. So anything that gets spilled, water around the sink, all I want to be able to do is that. Well, I don't even want to think about it. And that water is actually just walking into the sponge. Look how dry it is underneath.
You get a dozen. You get a dozen, so you will literally never again use one of these and smush and smear the mess, the dirt, the grime, the bacteria around your sink, around your countertops, in your bathrooms. You will never really have to buy sponges again. It's the equivalent of 180 ordinary sponges that are mucky and dirty and disgusting.
Let me tell you something. These sponges actually, I mean, they are all nooks and crannies. Things are going to get in it. Things are going to rot and smell. Once bacteria starts to grow, that's the smell. You don't have to do that any longer. You do not have to do anything to make my sponges work. You don't have to do anything to make them cleaner. All you do is you rinse it out, put it next to the sink, and tomorrow morning when you pick that sponge up, it's a brand new sponge. That's how beautiful it is that you don't have to even think about it. I don't want to add more chemicals to my life. I don't want to add another way to have to clean something.
And by the way, when you get a Debbie product on sale with free shipping, it's the time to buy. Get it home, start using it. Get a set for, you know, your second home. Get a set to keep in your RV. Get a set for, you know, your sister who's got really young kids and they're picking up sponges that are ooky and gross unless they've just come right out of the microwave just now. Like that? You know, all you're doing is smearing the germs all around. When they ship for free and they're on sale, you're getting a product that you need to have in your home anyway at a better price with no extra cost.
See that shape? That shape I did specifically because I'm a girl. Not that men don't love my sponges, but many men love my sponges, but I didn't want my nails to touch the scrubby. So I designed it so that I could pick it up like this without my nails touching the scrubby side, and let me tell you about the scrubby side. The scrubby side is made of the same exact material as this, except with a slightly different formulation so that it would become rougher. This will rinse clean. If you've ever tried to scrub out a pan of scrambled eggs and then stood there picking the scrambled eggs out of your scrubby. No more. This will simply
And
rinse
I love
under the running
the
water.
little ridges that you did. It makes it work easier.
Oh,
it
it's
makes
so
it work
easy.
faster.
Let's do this
There's so
again.
much less elbow grease involved. And like you said, it's easier to really get into the grooves of the cups, the pans, the pots. It's just a better sponge in any and
how
every
dry
way.
this is.
In its shape, in its absorbency, and of course its properties to fight against the bacterias and the germs and the yuckiness. It's just a better sponge.
We're all fighting the fight. We all want to stay healthier. I want to do the best I can for my family without having to do a lot of extra things, and that means not adding more chemicals to their lives. This sponge will not allow the growth of molds or bacteria in or on this sponge for the life of the sponge. And I'm talking about the things we know of, like Salmonella and E. coli, but also big things like black mold and MRSA, all of the big ones. So if you take a sponge like this, you're using this sponge right now, and you're washing your dishes, and you're doing all this, and you're washing the kids' stuff, and you clean off the high chair, and then you go and you wipe out the sink.
Yeah. All you do is spread the yuck around.
You have picked up on this sponge such a huge amount of contamination, and then what do? You put it down and use it again tomorrow. Well, stuff is growing in that. Instead, with my sponge, when you rinse this out and put it down, you've got a brand new sponge tomorrow morning because nothing can grow in it. Nothing gets in that sponge or on that sponge for the life of that sponge. Let me do the science for you one more time. That would be the ordinary sponge you have next to your sink right now. And that's what's growing in it and on it now. That's why your sponge stinks, your sponge gets hard, your sponge stains. It's disgusting. Get rid of that because it's also a health hazard. Simply replace it with one of my Meyer GeniusSponges, and you see the little poof, poof, poof. That's indicating to you that my sponges will not support the growth or replication. The things will not grow in or on my sponge. And that's independent lab testing.
That's one. You get 12.
Their
quality and their shelf life replaces 180 ordinary sponges that are a dirty, mucky mess.
Don't buy
this. Okay, seriously, could you get 180 sponges for $18.95? I don't think so. They're like $1 a pop when you go to the store to buy them. So that's $180 at a steal price. You are saving money, getting a better, longer-lasting product, and one that's actually cleaning. Sponges are supposed to clean, right?
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. And by the way, if you keep sponges, if you use a sponge out in your garage, this is the sponge you should have in your garage because it will never become that crispy critter, that disgusting thing. You wet it and you go, no, that stinks. All right, this is for anywhere you would use a sponge. And I'm a sponge girl. I don't use cloths. I like to use sponges.
You know how you can really tell the difference, Debbie? Your sponge is never a brick.
Never.
Even when it's dry, even when it's new, even when it's never that hard brick of nothing. It's always soft and pliable. It absorbs more. It doesn't hold on to the bad stuff. It's a smart buy. You know, one of the things we try to do here at HSN is we have the opportunity to not just put a product on a shelf. We can explain it to you. We can show it to you and say, you know what? Why not buy a better alternative when it will last longer and when it does more than what's sitting on the shelf can do?
Watch that. It's actually just soaking up the water. I'm not doing anything. I didn't even press it. Now I'm going to lift up that sponge and you're going to see where the sponge was sitting.